And welcome everyone to the fifth Monday meeting of the Mayor and Council of Roswell. I'd like to invite Palaki Sangstak, and I apologize if I butchered that name, Palaki, to come forward and lead us in the pledge. He's studying government in school. So Palaki, if you'll come forward and lead us in the pledge, if we'd all stand, face the flag. Come forward. You can't do it from back there. You have to come forward. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And Palaki, if you would come to the microphone and tell us what you're studying and what school you attend. And there is the microphone. I do this to everyone who leads us in the pledge. I'm not picking on you.
My name is Palaki Sangstak, and I'm a student at Wheeler High School. And I'm here to observe the functioning of a local government for my AP government class. And, yeah.
Well, Palaki, welcome. You picked a good night. It may be a short meeting.
Okay.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
The agenda tonight is the people's agenda, so anyone who wishes to speak tonight, if you'll raise your hand, I'll recognize you. You can come forward to the mic and you can either make suggestions to the council or ask questions, but there is no council agenda. We're here to listen to you. So before you leave tonight, we have a speaker card which we would like you to fill in so that we do keep a record of this, and we'd like to have your name and address before you leave. Who would like to speak tonight? Yes, sir. Come forward, please. And I understand you'd like to videotape this, which is we'll let you do. So you can set that up.
Mayor Jer Wood.
Yes, sir. But when you proceed, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, if you'll give us your name and address, and then you may proceed.
Yes, thank you, Mayor, Council. I'm the Right Reverend Gregory Carl Davis, and I'm a resident now of Silver Spring, Sheffield, Westmoreland, Jamaica. And I have an agenda on the item I want to address, and I've entitled that agenda item as Roswell, Georgia rolls up the sidewalk. And I had an occasion to where I'd walk through Riverside Park on my way home from evening prayers at St. Andrew Catholic Church, where I was detained by Roswell City Park Police and questioned why I was traversing through the park on the sidewalk one evening. And they informed me that the park was closed, wanted to know why I was on the sidewalk. And I informed them that I was on a right-of-way going to the pedestrian bridge, and that was for my purpose for being on the sidewalk that evening. And they replied then and that they understood, and then I was told no problem, I could proceed. I had another occasion to where I was having a prayer service I pray at the 14 Stations, St. Andrew Catholic Church. There's a place along the river where the Catholic Diocese of St. Andrew has put up the 14 Stations on a church park there. And I pray there, and had another occasion to come back through that park again, and the Roswell City Park police officers again wanted to know why I was going through the park when it was closed, and I explained again that I was on public property right away and proceeding to the pedestrian bridge over the Vickery Creek, exercising my right of way. And I was informed that I don't have right of way and that I was to go out in the street, and I objected to this and informed the officers that they don't have the authority to be demanding this. And so I was informed then that if I did not go out in the street that I would be arrested, and I informed the officers it's just not possible. You can't arrest an individual for this. They were complaining because I was there supposedly in park after dark, and of course I was staying by my statement that this is right away. And so they did arrest me, and this became a matter of a criminal trespassing case that's been placed in the Fulton County state court system. And I took action and filed for an application for criminal warrants against the officers involved, and then captioned this action as Right Reverend Gregory Carl Davis versus John LaShuma, David L. Guy, Morris H. Hilliard Jr., Kyle S. Jackson, Edward T. Sweeney. And the application hearing was held on September 18th, and city attorney was present representing these officers, and the judge as well, your magistrate court, your municipal court. And a final order was issued, and this final order was prepared for the judge's signature by your city attorney. And this final order states that Gregory Carl Davis, without title of the Right Reverend Gregory Carl Davis, and I came here to address the council on this issue is because we have a conflict at law here, in that I was giving this final order by going down there. I was wondering what happened to it, and I was never given a courtesy copy. I was never mailed a copy of this. There's a timeline in when an order can be challenged. A motion for reconsideration on this order, it has to be timely filed within 30 days. And because I wasn't given a courtesy copy, I didn't realize that this title had been removed as by your representative, and that the magistrate court of Fulton County had signed this final order divesting me of title of office. And so I come down here tonight to explain that this is not something I can allow. We can't allow this. This is a violation of church and state issues, where the state is breaking down the walls, let's say, of the church, where they're saying that, well, we can arrest and imprison a priest proceeding home from prayers with impunity, is the way this is developing, it seems, and that we can also divest the office of archpriest here, in my case, by this final order. And I have to address this issue in that I want to see if we could come to an agreement or a negotiated settlement. I'm asking that the mayor here would execute his good offices and see if we can resolve this. There's pending state charges against me for criminal trespass in the state Fulton County court system, and I've now moved my residence to Jamaica, and I tend to go there, and my brother Dave Davis has put up a cash bound of $3,000 for my coming to this court. And also I'd like to see if we can have the city say, well, let's just go ahead and recommend that this case not be prosecuted, and then possibly I could sit down and say, well, here we can negotiate this to settle this issue, and something amicable between both of us. And so that's why I'm here, is to address the city council and the mayor that he would be willing to lend his good offices to our seeking to resolve this, and so that we don't have more conflict over this issue. This is and so that's why I'm here, is to ask for that, and see a sense of the city and the mayor on if he would be willing to proceed with a negotiation on settling this.
Reverend Davis, appreciate your
kids, please.
Yes, sir. Are you ready to proceed, Reverend Davis?
Yes.
Reverend Davis, I do appreciate your coming tonight. You raise a good question, and that is, do we have a sidewalk along Riverside Road in lieu of the trail which we have, which is something I hadn't thought about before. So it's a question I think we need to look at. Is folks who walking home, what's the availability of a sidewalk in that area? So that is a real question I think we need to look at. With regards to the office, I will tell you that there is no effort or no intention of this city to remove your title. That question really needs to be taken up with the state court. But I can assure you that this city has no intention of removing your title or even making that an issue. That is your title, and we respect that. With regard to negotiation on the charges for arrest of criminal trespass, I will take your request under consideration and discuss it with my city attorney, and we'll be responding to you I'll tell you after I have a chance to talk with him and we consider this with council and staff. We'll let you know what our position is. But I appreciate your position, and I respect your right to practice religion, and I hope we can work something out. Thank you, sir. Does that conclude your appearance?
Publicly thank you for seconding, but that's fine.
Do we have you? I'm sure we have your address. Is that right, Mr. Halsey?
I don't have the new address.
If you would give us a new address, we have. I have here GRG at Universal Orthodox Org, and I've got Silver String. We've got an email address. Do you have a phone number in which we can reach?
Email address would be fine.
We'll correspond with you through this email address.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Who would like to speak next? This is your opportunity. Come forward, please. And if you'll give us your name and address.
Hello, I'm Carol Clem, and I'm here with my husband, Richard Clem, and we live at 1020 Grimes Bridge Road, just down the road. And we're 2 houses from the proposed roundabout that's coming in. And I know limited information other than what I've heard from I don't know if it's Mr. Franco or Franco, but I talked to somebody at the city that said he was the project manager. But since then, we've heard that there might be a sale of the 2 homes on the end of Grimes Bridge. Basically, I don't know if that's true. This is just what we hear in the neighborhood.
Oh, why don't we bring Mr. Eisenbach forward,
Okay.
and he can respond to most of your questions, I hope.
That would be great.
Hi.
Hello. We talked a little bit already.
Sure.
We heard today that there was some talk of the 2 homes on the end of the street, right where the roundabout would be, that they might be sold.
Hadn't heard that.
Okay.
Well, Mr. Eisenbach, if you'll respond directly, does the city have any intention of acquiring any houses as part of this project?
No, Mayor.
Okay. And then we also heard from Georgia Power, who came to visit us recently, that there's going to be poles another 7 feet higher along the street, and then 5 feet into our property, there's going to be a need for a new easement because they're going to have to move the poles all the way down. We're in the second house from the roundabout.
Okay.
And they told us that there would be 5 feet into our need for 5 feet into our property, plus a need for an easement, and that further down it would be 7 feet into their property and a need for an easement. And we heard that, and then she said she was going to get back with the city because she didn't know what the plan was for the property right near the easement. And she said, if you need to talk to us at any time, give us a call. We've called her a week ago to ask her again about the poles.
Who is this? Georgia Power? person?
Georgia Power.
Okay.
All I know is her name is Jenny, and I've got her phone number. And she hasn't returned the call. So I guess my question is there a need for easement into our property 5 feet? Is it going to be wood poles, metal poles, and how high? And if there's no need to talk about the properties being sold, then I guess that eliminates my concern that we will now become the house next door to the roundabout versus the house on the roundabout. So those are my questions.
Okay. I can say that I have no knowledge of this Georgia Power issue. I can certainly help you find out what their requirements are. They do funny things sometimes. We are zigging and sometimes they zag. I mean, I can't necessarily tell you that we don't have any interest in relocating their lines. In fact, we're getting rid of a lot of utilities with the roundabout. As a result of that, they may be doing some work along with their lines in conjunction with that I'm not aware of, but if it affects your property and it's resulting from our project, then I would certainly work with them to help you resolve that in the best and fairest way possible.
Mr. Eisenbach, a couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
To what extent are these plans available on the city website? Our plans.
The basic roundabout is on the city website under the transportation department, and there's a project link. And as I've shown you many times, if you go, there's a city map and there's a hot link, and if you click on it, you'll get a page of information.
Yeah, she had the plans in front of her when she was talking. We walked all around our property with her plans, and she showed where the telephone poles were going to be moved. And it was 5 feet. It was 5 feet within our property line. She said that it was required because of the way they run lines and the fact that they were trying to avoid I guess there's an oak tree that is part of the roundabout that's really important. And so because of this oak tree, they having to get around it, they had to move the plans further towards our house, and for that reason they had to move the telephone lines.
Let me make a suggestion. A lot of this is best explained with a plat and the exact plans.
So can we come down and talk to somebody down
Absolutely.
here?
I gave you my card.
Okay.
Give me a call. The person, Franco, is Franco DeMarco. He's our engineering design manager. And he may have been the person that you've talked to. But my recommendation, Mayor, at this point is to come into our office and let's sit down and we'll show you the plans in detail and show you what we're planning to doing as a city. And then if Georgia Power needs to be a party to those conversations because of some plans, and I can tell you that we have numerous conversations with Georgia Power and oak trees, and so that this is not unusual, but there's usually, if there's options, we'll explore all these different options.
And
I'd like to recognize Laurie Henry for a moment.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to request that we put this information in an email form. I've received 2 telephone calls, and the rumors are circulating, and they're wild. Everything from we're going to close this intersection for a full year, several weeks after we open up Grimes Bridge, to we're taking out a 200-year-old oak tree, that we're taking 2 homes, and now I'm hearing about the power lines. So I've had 2 calls in 2 days on it. So if we could if you would coordinate with Georgia Power and get some resolution there, and if you could get a fact sheet out on the timeline of this right-of-way acquisition, what these neighbors can expect, how you expect this to impact them on a daily basis, length of the project, the whole shooting match. If we could do it in an email, then everybody will circulate the email, and a lot of these fears will be put to rest.
The biggest concern of the residents is that traffic flow will be lots faster, and that now that you have this massive bridge at the end of Grimes Bridge that has a lot of capacity to move cars, that we're going to have a lot of cars coming by our house that weren't coming before because of the stoplight. Because people come down through that area, even though it's 35 or 30, whatever it is, they go 45, 50. And it's not patrolled well, and it never has been. So having a roundabout with no stoppage of traffic has everybody a little bit concerned about safety. So if we can talk about it, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Who would like to speak next? Are there any takers? Going once? Going twice? We're adjourned. Closure for council. Thank you for coming tonight. Vote.